Welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, sharing in this down moment with myself and with one another. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome. Welcome back if you have. My intention is unity and oneness and the highest levels of love light. I'm going to go into a little flow and share just really briefly. Welcome to our new reality. What does that mean? What does that look like? And I would venture to answer that question by saying, what does that mean for you? What does that look like for you? Because what it looks like for me may be different than what it looks like for you and the person next to you and the person next to you. One of the messages I've been getting recently is, oh, and by the way, this week might have been a little rough. Once again, we had solar activity. Surprise, surprise. Once again, heart palpitations, thirsty, tired, trouble concentrating, etc., 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 and so on and so forth. And will this continue? Quite possibly, yes. Earthquakes. More solar activity, the more earthquakes it seems that we have. I do subscribe to some people on my YouTube channel. If you feel curious, you can look up some of the people I subscribe to. Just because I subscribe to them does not mean I agree with everything they share, but I do find something of value in what they have to share. And that comes back to, what does it mean for you? What it means for me might be something different. I find that I do not subscribe to the catastrophe, end of the world stories. That doesn't mean there aren't going to be catastrophes. And that doesn't mean that certain parts of our reality aren't going to end. However, I have this deep sense in my body, in my heart, that it isn't going to look the way that some of the people who are sharing about it looks. There's a lot of doomsdayers, a lot of people saying, talking about revelations, end of the world. I would just invite everybody to get back into your hearts. Take a deep breath in and a letting go exhale. If listening to those stories is bringing up fear, don't listen. Feel in your heart, what do I need to do? I think of, is it Don Carlos? Carlos Castaneda? Oh, no, I can't remember his name right now, but the shaman. Do everything, be impeccable, right? What do I need to do in this moment to bring myself and those around me joy to the best of my ability? By the way, it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to bring everybody joy around you. Some people are doomsdayers and they're going to be in that space of fear and shame, right? What's the self shame? We're really being called to witness and recognize from a compassionate place of understanding that things are definitely not, they're more than meets more, there's more going on than meets the eye. So which eye are we looking through? Being aware that we don't know what we don't know. But the deeper we get into the heart, the easier it is for us to feel through these distortions. And again, I want to just reiterate, I'm not aligning myself. I choose not to align myself with any particular story or paradigm. Even if that story or paradigm may be something that is happening, I choose to focus on what's in front of me to the best of my ability. And that's really the message that's been coming through from my guidance team. Get back into the heart. Are we perpetuating someone else's story? Are we creating a collective energy and resonance that furthers that story and makes it more probable? Because if we are, then that is going to push with more momentum our reality in that direction personally. So I would invite everybody to just feel into some of the stories that are being shared. And some of them are scary. I also wanted to invite, but when we come back into a place of compassion and getting into the heart, it takes us out of fear and it puts us in a state of resilience. It puts us in a state of, all right, let's get the job done. What is my intention today? What is my purpose walking forward in this reality? How do I want to show up? Because we can't control the outcome necessarily of the collective experience. But from another perspective, we are part of that collective creating that experience. So we are part of that creation. Therefore, we can, from one perspective, control our reaction, response, and what it is we're thinking about and feeling that move us into that potential reality. So it is, in a sense, we do have control over it. By letting go of control and getting back into our place of grace, joy, inner support, supporting our friends, our family in the best way that we can without needing to control their reality. So much coming through. Did I already talk about the solar activity, the solar flares? Guys, these videos, sometimes I do several takes in order to get in alignment with what I'm trying to say, especially when I'm not just going into channel flow. I have sessions with beautiful humans, and there's so many different subjects and topics that come through that I want to share. But then when I start to share it, I go into so many different subjects and topics that sometimes I realize it might be a little overwhelming. So that's the biggest thing I wanted to share. The fear in the collective, stories that are playing out. Okay, let me just go into a little flow. Maybe we'll get back to that in just a moment. So this is meant to be felt, not necessarily understood on a linear basis. I'm going to invite you to drop into the heart, feel into the space of the breath. Just take a breath in. Get into your body. Exhale, let that breath go. Bring that gratitude in your heart for the breath that we have, the space that we have to breathe, for the air that we have to breathe, for the food that's on our tables, for those in our lives that we love. There's a lot of people who are going through a lot right now. The more love in the world, the more that has a ripple effect. One of the things I've been channeling, and then I'll go into flow, and I haven't shared it because I'm not sure how to communicate it yet, is the heart and just how important the heart is. Oh, I'm being called to talk about the physical symptoms again briefly, so I will. But when we get into the heart coherence or the heart space, I was shown that there is a part in the heart that can get coagulated. Maybe I'll share that later. The point is, the more clarity we have of clarity comes from letting go, from forgiveness, from compassion. That cleans out the heart, cleans out the coagulation, and it allows us to feel more at ease in our own bodies. This sends out a signal in the field that we're all part of, and it has a ripple effect. It has an impact on the quantum. So this is why meditation works. This is why it's like sound. We're sending out a signal that other channels, humans, empaths, what do you think makes us an empath? Those signals, feeling them, picking up on them, and sending them out, pick up on. So the more we can pick that up and run with it and share it and spread the love, the more we're able to support our fellow humans with what they're going through right now. And there's a lot of people who are what I refer to as in it. There's people who've lost loved ones, lost their homes, are going through physical ailments, are going through mental breakdowns, a lot of mental instability right now, a lot of depression. I say that with love because we've many of us, I'm not going to speak for everyone watching this, have all been through a little mental instability at some point in our lives. Am I losing it? Is it just me? Why don't I feel good? What's wrong with me? Emotional instability, not feeling stable in our bodies, our reality, our jobs, our marriage, whatever it might be. There it is. So the more we can come back to compassion for those who are going through it, and for ourselves if we're going through it, the more balance we will all co-create together. I do recommend prayer. However that sounds for you. It's not about how it looks. It's not about what you say necessarily. It's about the feeling behind the words. Prayer can be silent prayer. You could just close your eyes and say love, appreciation. Send it on a wave to all of those who are all over the world, wherever they are, in the United States, outside of the United States. Send it out on a ripple. And yes, action, if action can be taken, take action. If you can physically go and assist someone who's lost their home, wonderful. If you are not able to, don't beat yourself up because you can't, because that actually is a negative. That's a lower frequency and vibration, shame, right? Getting out of shame around that. Sometimes we beat ourselves up because we're not able to do what we feel like we should do, but we can do what we have the ability to do. And that's what we really should do, not what we think we should do. It's what we have the ability to do. So follow through with that. It might be making your neighbor dinner. All right. So that's the message that's been coming through. I'll just do a quick flow. And we each have access to the divine combination lock, to the key. For we are the key. We are the key holders, and what we hold within our own form and beyond, we all are moving through and with. So I'm just seeing this combination lock turning and changing and morphing. And we are each in our own a unique combination to the creative force that we are each creating from, through, with, as. For as we move through and create with this co-creative frequency of love, of light, of laughter, it holds a charge. And as we hold this charge together, as we hold each other within this charge, and we let go of the need to charge others from another perspective, or to put others in charge of our own well-being, of our own reality, we recognize that we are each part of this. There is not one person who is higher than the other or more important than the other. And yet this is a difficult idea or concept to grasp. And we invite you not to grasp at anything, really. We invite you to let go and not necessarily hang on to trying to figure out what it is that we don't know, for that will never be within our reach fully. Therefore, we will always be grasping for something that we cannot quite see, we cannot quite feel, we cannot quite hear or understand, for we are always growing, learning, feeling, understanding. Therefore, the more we stand in this particular moment, in this particular time frame, in this particular reality wave, the more we are able to feel the higher consciousness that we are feeling in the field that we are expressing through and feeling. And this is all about us feeling and allowing those emotions and feelings to move through us, and letting go of the need to hang on to those feelings and emotions, for there will be more that come. There is an abundance of energy that is available to us, yet we have been taught that we must hold on with white-knuckled grips in apprehension, in anticipation, in future, in the past. What if? Should I? I wish I would have. Oh, woe is me. And yet woe is me. Whoa. I'm seeing whoa. Big. I'm hearing big time. What's that? For we do not always grasp how large it is that we are, for we are encapsulated within these hands. We are held within this body. We are held within this particular framework that feels compressed at times, that feels like we're squished or squeezed into this little tiny me. And yet this little tiny me, seemingly little tiny me, is the key. For together we are the sea, oceanographic. We are the sea that creates the waves of the weave, of the energy of compatibility that allows us to harness creativity. And so the more we can let go of the need to gravitate towards someone else's reality, unless it fills our hearts with great joy, allows us to feel at ease, allows us to feel more of who we, the me, really is, which is so much bigger than what we think. For we are light and sound encapsulated within this particular reality on the ground, on earth, in skin, encased within a particular subset of frequency that holds together this idea or concept of we, packaged neatly and tightly into what it is that we think we see. So we invite you to change the image that is being projected up onto the screen and use our imagination to move away from that which we are thinking ourselves into being and move into a higher dominion of frequency that is channeled from the heart, that we are accessing through our heart signature sound frequency of bliss, joy, appreciation, gratitude, so on and so forth, so that we may quit cutting ourselves down into compartmentalization and nice, neat packaging that shows up on our doorstep instantaneously because we are pushing a button requesting that what shows up looks a certain way. And if we don't receive it today, we become impatient. If it doesn't look like what it was that we ordered, we become antsy. We become in resistance to needing to hold on to that view that we thought it was as we made the order. For we are not made to order in the same way that we think we are. We come from a higher order of divinity, a higher order of infinity, in infinity, as we move and weave through this expansion of the sea. I'm hearing sea like the sea, musical notes, harmony, waves, water, sound. We've been encased within a particular reality framework for so long that we think we are that package. We think we are the technology that we are ordering. We think we were made to order from a particular idea or concept. Whatever that idea or concept is irrelevant. For what it is that we do with that package is the key. And then the more we recognize that the package has many different additions that we didn't know we came with, the easier it is for us to find the drive, to drive forward our vessel. I'm hearing Vesica, and I'm seeing bubble like turning into this flower of life. The easier it is we are to recognize that we do not need someone else to hand us the key for our own vessel, for we are the key, we are the vessel, we are the light, we are the sound that are driving forward this particular wave. And how will we wave? How will we move? How will we respond to that which is waving back at us? Will we see beyond the old story? Will we see beyond the old images that we are used to searching for? The old orders that we are used to making, creating? Will we see beyond the need perceived of staying small? For we may feel small, yet we are not. We are not bound by any ordinary idea, package, concept, button, code. And the more we begin to recognize and reorganize based on a new schematic, based on a glowing, growing, breathing, liquid crystal schematic. I'm just seeing so much right now. I'm seeing living architecture. I keep seeing these pictures of like when we order online something and we get this package and it's, do you ever get a package and then you open it up and there's a lot of other packages in it? Or I'm seeing a picture of people going, I didn't order this, but we're still receiving it. I'm seeing pictures of people ordering things that are expecting one thing, getting something else. And I'm just being shown that our reality is constantly growing and weaving and letting go. I'm seeing people hanging on too tight to what it needs to look like. I'm seeing this liquid crystal plasma all around us that's like, you're more. Let's pull that out, expand that light body. I'm seeing us expanding into the light body. We think a lot of times we're drawing things down into us, and that is true. But I'm also being shown that we are also expanding out and meeting that by being bigger. And bigger is not the materialism that we've been attached to, that we've been taught to be attached to. I'm being shown that it isn't this inorganic. It's all this moving fluidity that we're learning how to recognize. And it's here now, but oftentimes we can't see it because we're looking for that package. We're like, has it shown up yet? I'm waiting for it. It's already here. We're inside of it, but we're also beyond it. So I'm just hearing, open up our gifts, open up to more. Maybe it's going to look different than we think that it does. Maybe that idea that we've been attached to, that image in our mind that we've been taught to focus on, isn't real. And can we let it go? Or can we accept something that maybe we didn't believe was real and go, wow, okay, didn't think that was real, but it is. So how am I going to respond to that? So much more I could go with that, but I'm going to end on that note just because I got to start my day and start opening up those packages. I'm in love and light, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing in this now moment and co-creating in this really crazy, what seems like chaotic space. There's so much creativity, though, that's available to us right now. If we can just play a little bit and not attach ourselves to just the idea of what it needs to look like or what we need to look like or sound like or dress like or all of the above. So, in love and light, namaste.